I had only been living on Ashwood Lane for a week when I first noticed the house. It sat at the very end of the cul-de-sac, cloaked in shadows even during the brightest hours of the afternoon. The shutters were rotted and hanging crookedly, the paint peeled away until nothing but gray wood remained. A heavy, sagging porch stretched across the front, its boards warped and broken in places, as though no one had dared to step there in decades. When I asked the neighbors about it, their faces immediately changed. They lowered their voices, avoided eye contact, and always gave the same kind of answer. Don't go near it. Don't even look at it for too long. That only made me want to know more. On my third night, I heard it, faint, muffled, coming from the direction of the house. At first, I thought it was the wind or an animal, but then I realized it was a voice, a woman's voice, whispering words I couldn't quite make out. The following day, I pressed Mrs. Harris, the elderly woman who lived across the street. She hesitated, then told me what she knew. Years ago, a family lived in that house. A mother, father, and their teenage daughter. One night, without explanation, every light in the house went out. Neighbors claimed they heard screaming that lasted for hours, but when police finally went in, they found the place completely empty. The beds were unmade, food was half prepared in the kitchen, and the front door was wide open. No one was ever found. Some say, Mrs. Harris whispered, that the family never left. They're still in there, waiting for someone else to join them. I laughed nervously, but her eyes were dead serious. That night, I lay awake in bed, staring at my ceiling, listening. Around 2:13 a.m., there it was again, this time clearer, a faint, steady crying drifting across the cul-de-sac. My heart raced, and against every ounce of better judgment, I got up, slipped on my shoes, and walked outside. The street was silent, every house dark. Only the abandoned house at the end seemed alive, breathing. Its windows looked like watching eyes, black and endless. I told myself I would just get closer, maybe peek at the porch, and then turn back. But as I approached, something about the air changed. It grew heavier, colder. My skin prickled. The sound of crying grew louder, sharper, echoing from deep inside. I stepped onto the porch. The wood groaned under my weight, and for a moment I thought the whole thing would collapse. The crying stopped. Silence. And then, a long, slow creak. The front door shifted open a few inches, all by itself. Every instinct told me to leave, but I pushed the door wider and stepped inside. The air smelled of mildew and rot. Wallpaper hung in curled strips, and the carpet squished damp beneath my shoes. My flashlight cut through the darkness, landing on broken picture frames scattered across the floor. In each one, faces had been carefully scratched out, leaving only torsos and empty outlines where eyes should have been. I froze when I heard it again, not crying this time, but a faint tap, 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 coming from upstairs. I told myself I would just look, just for a second. I climbed the staircase, each step groaning like it hadn't been touched in years. At the top, a hallway stretched into shadows. Every door was closed, except one. At the end of the hall, A faint orange glow seeped out from beneath it. My heart pounded as I approached. The closer I got, the stronger the smell became, coppery, like rust or blood. I pushed the door open. The room was empty except for a single wooden chair in the center. On it sat a tape recorder, crackling with static. The faint orange glow came from a candle burning on the floor beside it. I bent down, shaking, and pressed play. At first, only static, then screaming, terrified, endless screaming, mixed with desperate banging and cries for help. My stomach dropped when I recognized one of the voices. It was mine. I dropped the recorder, stumbling backward. The candlelight flickered, and in that split second, I saw them in the corners of the room. 3 shadowy figures, standing perfectly still, watching me. Their faces were twisted, eyes hollow, mouths open wide in silent screams. The door slammed shut behind me. I ran to it, pulling, clawing, but it wouldn't budge. The shadows moved closer, their shapes warping, stretching unnaturally long. One reached out, a cold hand brushing my shoulder, and I screamed. The recorder clicked again, and through the static, my own voice whispered, "You shouldn't have come here." The candle blew out, and the last thing I saw before darkness swallowed me whole was the door unlocking itself from the outside.